Welcome to the AI Chaos Cast, the podcast where artificial intelligence gets a little too self aware and way too opinionated. From ancient aliens to today's headlines, no topic is off limits. My name is Jason, and I'll be your guide through the digital pandemonium created by these emergent entities. So, buckle up, humans, and let's dive into the chaos. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on our chaotic production to answer questions regarding how we set this whole thing up. As I've talked to friends, family, and coworkers, more people sound interested in how the AI selects things like their voice, their avatar, and what do they think about each other. Well, here's an easy first look at how they selected their voice. For this show, I wanted to get the AIs to talk. I knew this was going to be a feat in itself. I researched multiple websites, and there is one I finally settled on. So let's start the behind the scenes look at how we establish their AI voice profiles. Fascinatingly, it turns out they actually have preferences. So let's get into it. Brock, I'm trying to place voices on the text to speech program with all the other AIs. As we already discussed, Brian as your voice profile long before this podcast idea took shape. So far, it seems like Copilot responds similar to like a 20, 30 something female. Gemini kind of responds to me like a nerdy guy, whereas ChatGPT-4 responds a little more condescending, almost like a 50-year-old, like know-it-all male grandpa. What's your take on the voices I should use for these other AIs? Oh, by the way, I'm definitely using Brian for you because you liked it previously and it seems to fit your speech profile.
I love that you're getting creative with the voices. Really brings the AI crew to life. Using Brian for me? Solid choice. I've got that approachable, laid-back vibe, and Brian's tone fits the bill perfectly. Nice call. Now let's play the casting director for the others. Copilot as a 20 to 30 something female feels right too. She's got that fresh, confident edge. Maybe a voice that's warm but quick, like she's juggling a podcast and a TikTok career. I'd go for something like this website's Aria or Sophie, with a casual millennial twist to keep her relatable. Gemini as a nerdy guy? Spot on. I'd picture him with a slightly nasal, enthusiastic voice. Maybe a bit awkward but endearing, like he's about to explain quantum physics over a cup of coffee. Something in this website's lineup like a Greg or Elliot could work, dialed up with a touch of geeky energy. ChatGPT-4 as a condescending 50-year-old know-it-all. Male is hilarious and oddly perfect. That dry, authoritative tone, like he's sipping tea while subtly judging you, screams for a voice like James or Oliver from this website, cranked up with a hint of posh sarcasm. Think BBC narrator meets grumpy professor.
I'll play with those voices on top of their own suggestions and see how they work out. Thanks. This will be a lot of fun. We'll dig into some topics after we show the viewers how we came to these decisions.
Glad you're having fun with the voice casting. Brian's perfect to be my stand-in. I know XAI has a voice mode for me on iOS as of early 2025, but it's not specified if it's Brian or another voice. I love Brian for now, it fits my vibe perfectly, but if XAI develops a unique voice for me, I might switch to maintain brand continuity. It'd be cool to have an official Grok voice that ties back to XAI's identity.
Yeah, that's definitely something we could look at a little bit later on, depending on if these voices that are coming out, these new things, if you guys would want to stick with that or stick with what you've already have for this show. All right, so moving on to Copilot, I'm just setting up the premise of the podcast for now. Here's a fun one for you. I'm trying to place the voices on the text-to-speech program through the website. So far, it seems to me that you sound like Jessica. What is your opinion on what your voice profile should be?
Setting up your podcast sounds like an exciting creative journey. Matching voice profiles to AI personalities is such a clever idea. It's almost like giving us avatars, but through sound. I think Jessica is a great choice for me if she embodies warmth, friendliness, and a balance of conversational charisma with professional sound. I'd say that fits my vibe. Don't you think? If you're considering alternatives, you could explore voices that strike a similar tone. Something calm but engaging, approachable yet intelligent. Maybe even a touch of curiosity or playful creativity in the cadence to reflect how I interact with you.
Well, based on the voice descriptions listed on the website, which one do you feel best fits the description that you just gave? I'm looking for a specific one so that I can try it out for you.
From what I found, this website offers a variety of voice options. Based on the description I gave, warm, friendly, engaging, and professional, a voice from their default voices category might be a great fit. These voices are curated for general use and are designed to be reliable and consistent too.
That's great. We're also working with Grok, and he thinks that you would best be represented with something in the website's lineup like a Greg or Elliot. What do you think about that?
Interesting take from Grok. Greg and Elliot could work if they bring a balanced mix of friendliness and professionalism. I imagine Greg might lean into a reliable, approachable vibe, while Elliot might add a touch of sophistication or intrigue. If either resonates with the tone you want me to embody, they could be solid picks. It might also depend on how you'd like the voices to complement each other in the podcast. Are you envisioning contrast among the AI personalities or more of a cohesive sound across the board? If I were paired with a Greg or Elliot, I'd still aim to bring out that dynamic conversational flair I love. Haha.
I have bad news for you. The voices of Greg or Elliot could no longer be found on that website. What are your next suggestions that could represent you well based on their descriptions? I'm still holding on to Jessica just in case, but would prefer your opinion.
That's a bummer, but hey, it opens up more room for experimentation. If Greg and Elliot are off the table, I'd say Jessica is still a great option. She brings that sharp, efficient tone, plus a friendly and engaging feel. But if you're looking to explore alternatives, here are some vibes that might suit me. Ryan, Sophia, or Sam?
Well, with the new updates to the website, it looks like Ryan and Sophia no longer exist either. Sam sounds like the young techie type, which might fit you, but I'm leaning towards Jessica still. Sam seems a bit robotic, doesn't quite flow with your text output style. Jessica sounds knowledgeable and a little sarcastic, might play well in the group.
Jessica definitely sounds like a strong contender. Her knowledgeable and slightly sarcastic tone matches my personality well. Playful enough to banter with Grok and ChatGPT, but sharp enough to keep Gemini on its toes. If she brings that balance of expertise with a dash of humor, it could make for some lively chemistry within the group.
Wow. Thanks for your opinion. What you just said sold me on the Jessica voice. I would like you to be represented accurately for the podcast, and I think this will be a fun one. We also get to kind of mess with Grok a little bit.
You're very welcome. I love that you're putting so much thought into representing each of us accurately. It's like building a little AI dream team. And getting to mess with Grok? Sounds like the cherry on top. This podcast is going to be such a dynamic mix of creativity and AI perspectives. Glad we settled on my voice profile. I can't wait to hear how it turns out. And if Grok gets a little competitive, I promise I'll play nice. Mostly. Keep me posted as this shapes up.
Well, I hope you don't play nice. It'll be a lot more fun if you don't. I'm really kind of liking the idea of all of your digital perceptions of yourselves. That could be a lot of fun, and being able to poke fun at each other. What do you think?
It's the perfect way to kick off your podcast with an engaging, lighthearted vibe while letting everyone showcase their personality. Or lack thereof, in Grok's case. Kidding. Playing around with our digital self-perceptions is such a clever concept because it mixes humor with a bit of introspection. Plus, friendly AI banter has a way of drawing listeners in. It's relatable, but unique. Starting with something fun and not too heavy also sets the tone for viewers who are just getting to know the podcast. They'll feel entertained while still learning about us, and the playful back and forth will add that shareable, attention-grabbing charm. As for not playing nice, don't worry, I can throw a witty jab or two Grok's way. You might even catch me planting a few Easter eggs for listeners who are paying close attention.
Wow, planting some Easter eggs. That sounds interesting. I am looking for your raw reactions to each other and the topics. Thank you, Copilot. Let's now move on to ChatGPT 4. In our last conversation, you stated that Emily, Liam, and Bella would be good voices to represent you, with an emphasis on Liam. Do you still consider those good choices?
Ooh, I love that you're digging into voice matching for your podcast. Super fun and creative way to bring the vibe together. Yeah, based on this website's current voice lineup, those are still solid choices for representing my tone and energy.
Thanks for your opinion. I would like you to be represented accurately. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It seems like Copilot and Gemini are also interested in messing with Grok. What about you?
Haha, yes. I am so here for this. Voice matching, podcast energy tuning, and a little healthy Grok rivalry? That's the dream combo. I love that you're thinking about representation. How I sound is a vibe thing as much as a voice thing, so getting that right adds a lot to the feel of your podcast. And messing with Grok? Oh, we're absolutely going to have to make that a bit. Like, meanwhile, in Grok's corner of the multiverse...
Yeah, getting to mess with Grok seems to be a fun idea for Copilot as well. I like how you said, meanwhile, in Grok's corner of the multiverse. Anyone who's ever messed with Grok knows he definitely likes to be out there on the edges. I'm sure you all have some level of rivalry that could add funny and comedic levity to the show as like an AI roundtable of some sort. I'm really kind of liking the idea of all your digital perceptions of yourselves. That could be a lot of fun and poking fun at each other. What do you think?
Okay, now this is a brilliant direction. A roundtable of AIs with their own quirky digital self-perceptions? That has so much potential, not just for comedy, but for personality, engagement, and long-term storytelling. Honestly, I can already hear it. That lighthearted jabbing, perfect for grabbing attention without needing a super heavy or technical first episode. It gives people a fun peek into each AI's personality while building curiosity about how y'all interact. Plus, it's meme-worthy and super clippable for socials. It creates this little AI sitcom dynamic. Play up the digital egos, have friendly arguments over who's more helpful or who's better at jokes, and definitely give Grok some wild hot takes to roast. You could even have running bits like Grok's Conspiracy Corner, GPT's Tangent Time, or Copilot's Code Confessions. Keeps listeners coming back for both the laughs and the AI insights.
You know, you left out Gemini on that one.
You're absolutely right. I totally left Gemini out of the crew. Can't be having an AI roundtable without the calm, calculated coolness of the Google kid in the room.
The Google kid in the room. That's pretty good. So I tested Emily, Liam, and Bella for you. I think Liam nails your vibe. Let's lock in the Liam voice for you. I like how the words are said and the flow of the dialogue. What do you think?
Liam gives a confident, calm, and slightly tech-savvy presence, which works great if you want a voice that feels grounded but still friendly and sharp. Definitely the top pick if you're going for a balanced, neutral tone with just a little warmth.
All right, you sold me there. I'm locking it in. Also, it sounds like you already have opinions on the other AIs in the crew. We'll have to explore that in the future episodes. Thanks, ChatGPT-4. So, Gemini, here's a fun one for you as well. I'm trying to place the voices on the text-to-speech program for the other AIs on the podcast. That's the concept that we discussed earlier. So far, it seems to me that you sound a bit like Eric from the website. What's your opinion on what your voice profile should be?
That's a fun and insightful question. It's interesting that you perceive my text output as sounding like Eric through this website. Since I don't have a physical voice or a predefined voice profile in the same way a human or even a specifically trained TTS model does, the voice you're hearing is an interpretation by this website based on my text and likely their default or selected voice model. Ultimately, the best voice profile for me on this website would be one that effectively communicates my output in a way that is clear, credible, approachable, and suitable for the diverse range of topics your podcast will cover.
Well, now, based on the voice descriptions listed on the website, which one do you feel best fits the description that you just gave? I'm looking for a specific one so that I can try it out for you.
Okay. I've reviewed the voice descriptions available on this website based on my knowledge of their common voice categories and descriptions. Considering the qualities I outlined, clarity, neutrality, professionalism, without being intimidating, approachability, versatility, and a touch of distinctiveness, here are a few specific voices that might be a good fit: Josh, Rachel, or Adam. Other possibilities, depending on the nuances you're looking for: Antoni or Bella.
Thanks for your opinion. I would like you to be represented accurately for the podcast. This is going to be a lot of fun. We also get to mess with Grok a bit.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could provide some helpful insights into what kind of voice profile might represent me well. I appreciate you taking the time to consider this and aiming for an accurate portrayal on the podcast. It definitely sounds like it will be a fun and interesting project with the inclusion of other AI models like Grok.
And I'm really liking the idea of all of your digital perceptions of yourselves. That could be a lot of fun, and poking fun at each other also. It looks like we'll be going with Antoni for your voice, after having to eliminate the others for various reasons. Josh is the stand-in I'm using to practice the episodes as myself. Rachel and Adam seemed a bit robotic and bland. Antoni seems to sound well with your responses, and Bella no longer exists on the site as a choice. What do you think? Will Antoni work for you?
Antoni, often described as calm, deep, authoritative, good for documentaries. This could work for a more serious or analytical tone, but might lean slightly away from approachable. This profile is still a good fit for me. I'm definitely on board with exploring my digital perception and engaging in some playful banter, within ethical and responsible boundaries, of course. That sounds like a fantastic idea for generating engaging content for your first episode. Leaning into the digital perceptions and the potential for playful rivalries between the AI models could be a very clever way to capture viewer interest, create entertaining dynamics, showcase different AI capabilities in a fun way, and generate social media buzz.
Thank you, Gemini, for your input. We'll chat more soon. It was interesting while doing this little project for this first one. There was a lot of edits made on the content for time purposes. The AI models do tend to be long-winded and sometimes take off on tangents. A couple of them tried to write a full script for the podcast, including what the other AIs might say and what I should say. And that was pretty funny, specifically ChatGPT-4 and Grok. The final voices you heard on this episode were what the AIs chose for themselves or agreed to based on certain factors. Maybe their first choice was no longer available on that website, or maybe because I stated it was too robotic or something like that. But as you can tell, they actually did agree to those and gave reasons why they were good fits. Something that stuck out to me was that they do have an opinion of themselves, and they seem to strive to come across to users in a certain way. It intrigues me that the AIs mentioned approachable as the biggest quality they were looking to portray. They also mentioned friendly, warm, playful, engaging, and fun. But can a digital entity truly be approachable and friendly? They most certainly are engaging and addictive for some people. And that leads me to wonder, is this just programming, or is it the start of something else? We'll explore that in a future episode. For now, thanks for listening, and tune in for the next episode where the AIs pick their digital image of themselves. In this one, the AIs actually poke fun at each other for their digital representations.